All right. Let's wait for this audience to build just a little bit. What's going on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram? What's happening? What's going on? How are you doing? What's your day looking like? How are things going? I don't want to be on too long today, but I just want to say welcome to Increase. This is my podcast in which I just try to increase your life, expand your day, um, get you started in the beginning of the week on Monday, and I end it on Friday. So, what's going on, how everybody doing. I appreciate everyone for who will join in later. I don't want to be on long. I have some other things I need to do, but I just want to talk about some things really quickly, and just want to ask the question to my audience. You know, do you have it in you? You know what I'm saying? What I mean by do you have it in you? In this society time that we live in, so much is going on. People are, just not being themselves. They're too busy trying to be a copycat, a carbon copy of so many different people. But it takes a different grit of a person to just be original, to be themselves. Amidst the council culture, amidst the everybody has an opinion until a group of people don't agree with what you have to say, and then you try to backtrack it. Who has that grit, that dog in them to just say, this is what I believe, this is what I stand on, and no matter what you say or how you feel about it, this how I feel until someone brings me something different that's worthy of my attention and my respect. I think right now in this culture, in this time that we living in, especially in the United States, people are looking for not only like a name, but they're looking for acceptance and applause. And that stuff right there only happens when people are authentically themselves. When you are who you say you are, right? We respect Arnold Schwarzenegger. We respect various war heroes and things like that because they put in the grit and the work. They didn't wait on somebody to pat them on the back or to give them some level of approval, but they just said, listen, this is what I want to do. And they went after it. And I look at, like, and shout out to CT Fletcher and um, his magnificent obsession documentary when he was talking about how just obsessed he was with, getting 22-inch arms. And I look at men my age and younger, I'm 40, and I look at men now that are my age and younger, and I ask the question, what are they, what happened, what's going on in their life that they don't have a magnificent obsession? Like they have an obsession to trying to, get approval for their friends, for their male friends. It's like things and just got turned upside down. People don't no longer have that grit to just be original, to be a pioneer, to stand behind what they say, to mean what they say what they mean. If everything is a lot of things are about not want to hurt people's feelings or thinking about or trying to use the psychology to just stand behind whatever it is that's the normal for today, even though they don't agree with it. And I think right now we're raising and we're around just a group of weak-minded people, weak-willed people, and we're looking for excuses to be everything but what you know to be. And right now, is especially in this day and age, it's crazy. No wonder there's no loyalty because there's nothing to be loyal to. When the rules of the game keep getting changed, when life as you know it continues to change based upon the sensitivities and the agendas of so many people who you don't know and don't see on a day-to-day basis, it paints the picture to say that, listen, I need to back up and really begin to just figure out what I want. I think right now, especially with my generation, as we're that last generation that, you know, understand the old school, but also help pioneer what we see now as the new generation. I think we have a responsibility to begin to put in that even extra work. And not only that, but put it in and put that grit into somebody else, put it in a younger generation. I think right now our younger generation is suffering, and they're suffering not from the mentality of not having love or affection or even understanding. I think what they're suffering from is a low or a lack of understanding, not just how this world works, but just how they fully operate and function. When you begin to look at old school versus new school, and not so much as them coming against each other, but the understanding that there was a reason why old school did it the way that they did it, and it wasn't just because they were trying to survive, but because that's the way you get things done. I think as much as technology continues to advance, we're going to continue to see the poor health and poor mental health of people, because the less you physically do, the more depressed and sad you become. Look and notice how people who are wealthy, they are always in the gym. They're always out in nature, rock climbing, all of this stuff, because they know that you need the physicality of life, and you need that in order for you to maintain a certain level of grit and mentality and strength, both mentally and physically. And so we're looking at a generation of men, we're looking at a generation of women who are, everybody's trying to escape, or a lot of people, not gonna say everybody, a lot of people are trying to escape from the work. They're trying to escape from what it is to be who they are. Everybody can be a YouTube star. Everybody can own a podcast. Everybody can have a blog and all of this other stuff. Everything, you're going to need those plumbers and those electricians. You're going to need those construction workers. You're going to need those people who, even though you possibly could get a robot to do it, it's better to have a human, because that human is able to make the decisions and be logical, and not just do it just for the job. Like, I'm telling you, my father used to say this all the time, and he would go, that air condition, that place of comfort is what's going to kill you. And I never really would think about it, as a youngster. I didn't think about it, I didn't understand it fully what he was saying. But he was like, you sitting on your behind all day, you sitting, playing the game, or you're, just stuck in the office or whatever all the time, that sort of lifestyle begins to slowly kill you. Because even look at truck drivers, and they talk about how, they sit in that chair for so long that they begin to develop like um little problems in their stomach. They begin to develop diabetes and things like that. So they got to work out and all of this other stuff, because sitting down is not always good. And we're even seeing now in corporate America, where they are, implementing desks that stand up, and you got all these kind of contraptions where you can walk on a treadmill while you're supposed to be typing at your desk and all of that. When the truth of the matter is that as a people and as a society, we are we are created to do a work. You know, that's the whole name of the game. And I feel like a lot of times we just don't have that grit. We don't have that grind. It goes beyond just trying to find the motivation. You just gotta want it. And I think a lot of times, when you see people who are, what you would consider lazy or whatever, it's because they have a safety net. But when you don't have that safety net, when you don't have anybody who will support you and pay all your bills and all this other stuff, you find a hustle and a grind in you that's second to none. And people will say that you're a workaholic, but what you are is a person who remembers that the only thing people are going to do is either applaud or point the finger. They're not going to help you. So you got to go out there and get it, and you got to do what you got to do, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And there's this thing where a lot of people are feeling like they're being overlooked, or people are not recognizing them for their work. When you look at a a movie star or a musical artist, right? Some of their music that you may hear and it's like, oh, this is brand new. Actually, it's possibly like 10 years old. It's 15 years old. You just never heard it. It didn't get mainstream. And so, you're like, oh, they're a new sensation. No, they've been working at their craft for years. And so I think a lot of times, people just want that instant. They want that publisher's clearinghouse. They want that, that $500 million lottery to hit, when the truth is that you got to work at it. And a lot of times you're gonna have to work when nobody's looking at you, and you're gonna have to work without the applause, and you're gonna have to work without people appreciating the little bit that you do or the little bit that affects them. And you're gonna have to work and go at it even when people don't agree with you and they don't like everything that you do and say. But the truth is that they don't know the background, they don't understand and know the history and the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And so you can't answer every critic. You can't. You can't speak to everything that everybody speaks on. And even though you may have an opinion about it and you may even want to clear your name, you can't. You just got to keep going and let your work speak for itself. Let the work that you do talk for itself. And they'll people will look up and they'll realize, maybe when you're dead and gone, or maybe even when you're living, that that person wasn't as bad as people tried to paint them out to be. And that at the truth of the matter is, what's up, Pat? And the truth of the matter is that at the end of the day, they were just making it. And you know, one thing is for certain, and that is, when you have a plan, you got to see it all the way through. When you have a goal in mind, you just got to go at it, because you're either going to sit there and try to entertain the people who are talking negative about you, or you're going to get it done. That's it. You just got to get it done, because the more you sit there and try to entertain people and tell them, why you're doing it and how you're going to get it done, you're taking away from that time and that work that you could be doing and you should be doing. And so you got to just go at it and let them see the work as it begin to formulate. It's just like with the movies. They always tell you coming soon. And then months later, they'll show you a trailer about the movie. So you've already shown people the trailer. You've already let people know it's coming soon. Now it's just trying to put in the work. Now is the time to just say, listen, social media, I catch up with you later. Friends, listen, we'll hang out when I have time. But I got to get this done. There's a goal that I'm gonna meet, not trying to meet, not something I'm working on. Man, listen, this is what I'm doing. And just really dedicate yourself and put in that time and that work. Like right now, even with this podcast, putting in the work right now, even while I'm live, I'm planning ahead and doing what needs to be done, so that when everything falls into place like it needs to, it's like a well-oiled machine, and I can work on something else. One of the things that I learned from Mark Cuban was, at watching a lot of his interviews, was that you got to take a project at a time. You may have a lot of projects going on at once, and you may be able to add a little bit to each one of them. But there's one project that you just need to focus really a lot of your time on and just begin to make it happen. And if I could encourage you guys today, I know it's Friday, and we always say Friday, weekends are made for fun. But I'm telling you, if you knuckle down, buckle down, and put in the work, put in what needs to be done. Let people know, hey, I'm good. If you text me and I don't answer you back, it's not that I'm ignoring you. I just got something going on, and they know who you are and what you've been standing on. I'm telling you, at the end of the year, you'll look back and go, man, my past self, I'm glad that he did what he did. I'm glad she did what she did, because I needed to get it done. I didn't want to just tell people what's coming soon and what's about to happen and all of that, you know. But you really looked at the fact that nobody's gonna do it for you, and at the end of the day, you just gotta do it. You gotta get look at yourself and get to that grit, get to that dog in you, and just let it go. Just go. I think it was one of Jet Li movies called Unleashed. You got to pop the collar and just go for it. You got to unleash the beast within. You got to let that sleeping dog wake up and devour the project in front of you, because your children need it. Your grandchildren that's to come gonna need it. your rest of your family, your wife, your husband, they need that. They need that dog that's within you for you to go hard in it. You know what I'm saying? I've been even, just looking at some of the things that the other people around me and just encouraging them as I encourage myself. Listen, you're not dead, you're not dumb, you're not limited. The only thing that we waiting on is for you to get up, look up, and go hard. Get up from where you are. Look up. Don't stop looking down, all sad, depressed, upset at the people who don't support you, don't like you, don't agree with you, whatever. Forget that. Forget them. They're going to do it anyway. That's their job. Now it's time for you to do yours. Time for you to get up, get to it, knock this project out of the park. Knock it out of the park for nobody else but for yourself. A lot of times we do things and we like, I'm gonna do this for my family, or I'm gonna do this for my kids, I'm gonna do this for my wife, I'm gonna do this for, the person who passed away. Now, this one needs to be for you. This is the one time in your life you need to be selfish and go, I'm talking about me. I'm getting healthier for me. I love my kids, love my wife, love everybody. I'm getting healthy for me. This project, as much as it's going to benefit a lot of other people as well, I'm doing this for me. And it may sound selfish, but can I tell you that it's really not? Because everybody else is going to benefit from it. But if I keep doing things in the name of other people and for other people, I'm going to miss the mark. I'm gonna come up short because I'm going to think about the pressure of trying to support them and make them feel good and be a blessing to them. But when I really just say, this for me, this for me. When I'm asleep and when they sleep and I'm up, this for me. You know, when they're out and they're able to enjoy life and they're able to do, have that firm foundation, guess what? That was because I did that for me. And because I was able to get beyond where I was and get to where I needed to be, guess what? They're able to reap the benefits of it. They're able to open up doors to things in their life that wouldn't have been able to be open if I didn't do what I needed to do. And so I just wanted to just share that with my audience. You got to get that dog in you. You got to, get that discipline, get that work ethic, work at it, continue to grow, continue to increase in your life. You need to be reading books. Like, seriously, you in this day and age, you cannot afford not to be a reader. You cannot afford not to be a person that is forever seeking to increase yourself in knowledge, not just self-help books. You need to know a plethora of a little bit of everything to be well-rounded, because you never want to be in a room and be in a place wherein you're relying on the intelligence or the information of another. You need to at least have the basics down, or general understanding, so that you're at least able to maintain where you are and be able to keep up when you're in that room. One of the greatest things I ever did was, one, go to massage therapy school, because it taught me some things about Latin that I didn't know as we were dealing with the human body. The second thing was to take the advice of my godfather and take a job that I absolutely didn't want to take, but it's been one of the most influential decisions that I've ever made in my life. It has affected every area of my life, in leadership, in how I look at business, how I look at relationships, how I look at networking, all of those things, just off of one particular job. And so a lot of times you look at things that you've done in your life and you look down on them, not realizing that all of it is going to come together. Integration is going to show up in your life. You're going to be able to take things that you learn from other places and from other people, books that you've read, and begin to weave them all together to make a point in a conversation, or to understand a concept or a new concept that's being presented in front of you when you're getting ready to open up your business or continue to expand your business. All of those things will begin to come to play. But you had to get that grit in the beginning. You had to get that dog in you to go out and step out on faith, to trust your own ability, to see that you are better than where you've been, and understand and know that everything that you put out in the past, you didn't run out of it. It's more in the tank. there's more in you than what you ever even thought possible. And so just because you made mistakes or just because things have happened in your life, misfortunes and mishaps, doesn't mean that your life is over. And it doesn't mean that things are not going to continue to happen. Life is going to continue to happen. But what hasn't changed is the dog that's in you. It ain't changed who you are as a person. It hasn't changed the fight in you. It hasn't changed the vision. It hasn't changed nothing. So even when it seemed like you have lost or you taking a couple of steps back, you gotta look at it and go, you know what? That happened. That was messed up, but it ain't over. I know how to go around it because I've been in positions where something similar like this didn't happen. And so you're gonna cry, it's gonna hurt, but you gotta keep going. You're right. Darius said, let's run through the wall. I mean, like the Kool-Aid man, let's run through the wall. When you bust through it, you got to stop and say, oh, yeah, you got to do it. You got to run through those barriers and begin to knock down those walls. We're not going to destroy racism until we're able to bust through the wall, which is communication. Because for some, they don't see anything wrong with it. For others, they see what's wrong, but they don't understand how to bring correction. And so we got to be able, even when it comes to sexism, even when it comes to any of it, any issue that is social that's going on right now, as a people, if we come together, we can destroy anything. You can go through any wall. Even I believe that's even some of the issues that we have, even when it comes to marriages, is that when things happen, instead of coming together, they break apart and they begin to try to do things on their own. And when you do those things, when you don't come together, when the times get hard, or when things get frustrating, or when things get confusing, you begin to separate. That's when you start having issues. All the time, it don't be somebody cheating or always about money. It's really when you're going through it or when things happen, you separate. If that's your first mind to isolate yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for a world of problems. I've seen it so many times, so many times, because that opens the door for cheating. That opens the door for financial issues, because nobody, either one or two are not coming together and saying, "Yo, this what it is." And so how we gonna work to get through it? It's always they'll come together and they're like, "Well, you got to do this and you got to do that and you need to change this." And so, and when you start doing you start hearing more of you and less of we and us. You got problems. You got problems. You got problems. And so you see that even in organizations, the CEO is doing something that's completely different from the board of directors. And so there's a clash. So the board of directors is trying to bring a correction to the CEO, which then begins to trickle down to the people in middle management who now has the pressure to still perform and to produce, which then trickles down to the lower people. And so they're feeling pressure, underpaid, overworked, and they don't understand or they don't even know what's going on. And so you see companies collapse, they begin to lose money, so on and so forth. So when that dog, I'm telling you, when you start running the race and doing all these kind of things, and you're doing it separately and all on your own, you start causing a problem. But you got to come together. But the dog, that work ethic, all of that has to come from you. And so, even though it's in you to do it, you still got to understand that you need help and you need people around you that can see your blind spots and that understand, where your areas of weakness. And so, your area of weakness is their area of strength. And so, you got to get it done. You know, you got to get it done. We got to get it done. I think as a people, as a society, we're really dependent and we're in need of people who are not just visionaries, but people who are builders, not just workers. We need builders. We need people who are ready to build, who can come together and make it happen like only they can, you know, like only they can. So I didn't title this podcast today. I just put the date on it because I just wanted there was just some things that I just wanted to just talk about, and I just wanted to share with the people. And it's Friday. My wedding anniversary is tomorrow. 12 years with my beautiful wife, and there's so much that I've learned, not just about her, but even about myself, and so many things that I've had to overcome. And that's what made me think about, sharing that with you guys today, is just having that dog in you, having that fight in you to overcome that mindset to just say, I'm gonna get it done. That mindset of I'm not stopping until I receive it. I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not throwing in the towel. I'm not making it no more excuses. It's time to just do it. It's time to make it happen. And so I appreciate, you guys and your time, and I appreciate you guys for desiring to increase in your life, not just because of the podcast, but because of who you are as a person. I think we're always, if you to be honest with yourself, you're a life learner, because even if you feel like you know a lot or you know it all, there's there's always somebody who will say something that you will be like, wow, I didn't know that. You may not admit it, but you like, wow, I didn't know that. And so it takes, that kind of a person to sit back and just begin to learn and begin to understand and begin to grow and to move and to experience life as only you can. So I'm transition to this um and that is, in life you should do more laughing than crying. And sometimes you're gonna laugh, seem like more than you cry, but your crying is really tears of relief. But when I say crying, I mean tears of sadness and sorrow. You wanna laugh, and one of the things that I've learned is to laugh and to enjoy is just what's around me. You know what I mean? You gotta enjoy what's around you. You gotta start looking at life in a totally different manner. And that's just finding the humor in things, finding the beauty in things, finding yourself really just being open to what life has to offer as you continue to build and grow and mature. The same way you are, now you shouldn't have been as, the way you were in the past when you were 20 shouldn't be how you are in your 30s and 40s. You got to grow, you got to mature. There's so much to life. And it's one of those things where you kind of just sit back and go, wow, I never would have thought I even make it, to this place where I can laugh and enjoy and just really have fun in any time. Have fun, and fun not so much as always in the in the um conventional sense of I'm doing something, but just having fun. Sometimes even just sitting by yourself, whether it's on the lake or on your porch or just walking down the street. I know with the way the United States is, there's so much to be cautious about. I'm not gonna say worried or fearful, but cautious. Cautious of your surrounding because of people want to rob you, or trying to take out vengeance or whatever. But you don't want to live your life in fear. You don't want to live your life in a in a place where you just stuck in the house because you're afraid something's gonna happen. It's no way to live. So you gotta laugh. You gotta find the beauty and the humor in all things, or at least try to anyway. And so, and that's what I've been doing, really and truly. And it's allowed me to take a lot of stress off of me, off of my shoulders, and just enjoy my kids, and just enjoy life as a whole. Um, I heard this saying earlier, and I'll say this, and then I'll be done for today because I got some other stuff I really need to be working on too. And that's it takes strength to control yourself. You know, I think a lot of time we look at strength as in your ability to lift or to move and to push, but to really control yourself, that's true strength. So if I can leave you with that, master self to display your true strength. And the way you can do that is get the dog in you. You got to have a fight. You got to go for it. Because when you master self, you can tell yourself, listen, I don't want to eat that because that's bad. I don't want to go here. I don't need to go here because it's nonsense. It's foolish. Because I got mastery of self. So because I have mastery of self, my book will be out September the 30th of this year. Family Economics, Creating Wealth for Your Family. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm going to be sharing it, posting it. Y'all going to get tired of seeing it. But I just want to put that out there for each and every one of you who are watching this, who going to watch this later. The book comes out September the 30th. I'm excited. My first book, I'm having a ball writing it. And it's a lot of things that I've learned throughout life. But I believe that the better we are able to handle our finances, the better and the quicker we'll be able to create generational wealth. So the title of the book again is Family Economics, Creating Generational Wealth. So thank you guys so much for your time, for your day. Have an amazing, amazing weekend. And I will see you all right here on Increase. God bless.